Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Meeple Circus. Meeple Circus is a 2 to 5 player game that takes 3 rounds. Each of the rounds is slightly different and builds off each other. Which round we're up to is marked by this token. In each round, you'll take it in turns. The first player marker marks the person who's going first, so at the moment it's going to be green. They will take one of these 6 tiles or one of these tiles. These tiles, there will be enough for 1 for every player plus 1 put out. What you're gaining by selecting one of those tiles is the stuff that's on that tile. So if player 1 were to take this token, he would get an elephant, a blue meeple, and one of these purple standees. They get added to the starting meeples, which is a blue and a yellow. Then each of the other players will select one, and then we'll come back around to this player, and this player will select one from the other row. You are allowed to choose from either row, but you're only allowed to select one from each row. So you'll have 2 selections throughout the round. So this one might select that, for example, which would also get him another blue meeple and a white horse. Once everyone has selected their starting goods, you take the meeples or the little things that are creating your act, and then we can begin the actual circus act, rehearsal, whatever you wish to call it. The first 2 are called rehearsals, the third one is the performance, but let's move forward. Within your performance, you will have an app which will enable you to play a theme. Once I push play, that's the start of the time. Everyone will be building at the same time, and what you're trying to do is collect as many points as possible. Now, how do we collect points? I hear you asking. The way to collect points is each of these 4 cards along the side show a particular way of building that if you're unable to do that, then you can score the points on that. So if you were, for example, to build that, you will have the 4 points that is required for the middle guy. Because of the pieces that this player selected during the first couple of rounds, they don't have the board, so they're unable to do the top one. They've done that one. This one, they don't have the circle piece, so they're not able to do that one, and they've only got one of the purple, so they're not able to do that one. So the only one he can actually do is the third one up, which is worth 4 points. If he had a board, however, he could build it like that. What you're looking at the moment is worth 8 points. So the 4 points for the horse one, 4 points for the board one. If for some reason he had another set of boards and the pillar piece, he'll be able to do that, and then he'd be able to get 8 points, so 2 of them and 1 of them. So it's 12 points total. Now, there's a couple of other things that go into it, but first up, we need to make sure that all the components are placed on the circus ring. So that's the ring, here's the side. So if there's any components placed across the line, it's not actually a viable thing, so you can't use that. These guys cannot be placed on their side. They must be placed face up. They can stand on their heads, of course, but they can't lie down. The only things that can be laid on their sides are the beams and the barrels. So in essence, all the inanimate object. And any component that wants to be scored must have at least one other component with it. So this one at the moment would not get any scoring on it whatsoever. Once we get to the end of the building, the first player who has finished the building first will grab this, which will give them an extra 2 points. The second player to finish will grab that, and any player after that there's no token for them. If this is what they've managed to build, that's really good. Everything will get to score because everything is legal. It's only just inside the big top, but that's fine. They're inside, so that's all right. We're going off this scoring now. So this player would get 2 points for that token. They then get the cards, which is 12 points. So 2 of them and 1 of them. So 12 total plus the 2 is 14. Then there's 1 point for every blue guy who is touching the ground. So he has 2 of them. 1 point for every yellow guy that is not touching the ground. So there's 1 of them. And then the points for the height of the red guy. So we take this and measure it, and that puts it into the 2 point range. So that's another 2 points for the red guy. Once that's all happened, all the pieces that he has remain his, so they can be used again. Whoever is coming last, so say that's what the points look like. Green would be coming last. Green would then remove one of the 4 cards. So he might remove that one, for example, which flips over a new card. These cards are removed, as are those cards at the top, and all the new cards put in to start the second round. Whoever is lowest down, which in this case is green, would get the start player marker, and we continue on. Now, you'll notice on this round that these tokens have points on them. They are points if you manage to get the appropriate guy to the appropriate space. If there's any pictures of animals or anything like that on those tiles, they are not collected. It's just the guys that we're actually collecting on that. Other than that, it's played the same way that we just played it. We just get to add extra guys and more pieces. Then when we get to the third round, these guys will stay in the lineup. So what happened on the third round is that these final things come in. They are things to do. And on the third round, we don't build at the same time. We build one individually, and then the next one individually, etc., all around the table. So you're actually watching each person building their stuff. At this point, there is a extra element, so technical and fun expansion. So the fun expansion is marked with this little pizza piece, and the technical expansion is marked with this little hand. The game plays the same way, but as I say, it's played separately, so each person goes individually to build what they can. You can still get the points off your second round guy that you've managed to gain. And once everyone has built their final spot, we score, and whoever has the highest points wins the game. I believe that is everything from Meeple Circus. So if you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you wish to see a playthrough of parts of Meeple Circus, please go on and watch the next video. If you have any games that you'd like to be Gamesplaned, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next week, enjoy gaming.